I can't get over that sound. That's a good sound. Did you see, man, how quick that was to balance that? I did that in like record time. That was fast. Hi, I'm James with TVS Pro, and I am excited to be doing a video for you today on the all-new Ronin 2 from DJI. I want to thank Patrick and Brian for getting these Ronin 2s out to us. We were told a few weeks ago that 6 demo units had entered the country. We were fortunate enough to secure 2 of those for a Moving with Cameras event that we did that was sponsored by DJI. Thank you again for all of your support and those that attended. And we had to ship one of them back, but they let us keep another one of these to demo to a few customers, universities and such, and also to do a video for you today. We wanted to do a full instruction video and show you really all of the different features this has, but I don't have a manual and I don't have actually a working app. So DJI was able to send me a beta version of the Assistant 2 app, but it's not on the App Store, so I was able to get it into iTunes, download it into here, and it says the developer can't be trusted and cannot use this app. I thought it was an iOS 11 thing. So I downgraded to 10 and I'm still getting the same error. So I can't actually use the app to put it into some of those cool new modes. But I have a full-fledged working Ronin. The spine on the back, that screen that's there, it's fully operational. And so I've got a red Epic W on here. We'll give you some sample footage. So this video is going to be on setup and also balancing. And primarily because that is probably the most frequent question that I get often is, how does this differ from the original Ronin? And I tell you, it is different in every sort, way, or form. And in your day-to-day use and operation, it's going to be balancing. With all of the quick release knobs that are all over this thing, the way it fine-tune adjusts all the knobs and everything, it makes it so much easier to balance now. And so we'll walk you through some of the balance and setup of that. And we'll go from there. So let's break it out. Okay, so now that I've got this all broken down for you into pieces, we're going to go over some of those components and show you how this all kind of goes together. Again, I can't show you how it goes into or out of the box because I don't have a box. This is how it shipped to us. This is our beta version. But again, be watching for a new updated video for that. So first things first, you've got this, what I call a magazine. This is what is going to hold your batteries. This is the first time DJI has ever released a cross-platform compatible battery. These are the same Inspire 2 batteries, as I'm sure you're already aware. They operate the Ronin 2 as well. This magazine holds 2 of those batteries. So you can slide both of them into it after or before it's attached to the Ronin, doesn't really matter. But I wanted to talk or just mention about this mag because they've got 2 P-taps and another LEMO adapter. You could use this to power whatever else that you needed to. Shoulder rig, follow focuses, with powering your camera, whatever. It's got quarter 20s on the bottom. This could be a handy tool in that cinema world when you're looking for power. Kind of nice. First thing you're going to want to assemble before you try to attach anything else is obviously the handles. It's going to be broken down into 2 parts. This is from DJI and it will come with the Ronin. And this is basically a hand grip or stop so that when you're holding onto it, it stops your hand from continuing to slide it up. These are some additional accessories that DJI sent us, made by CineMilled. They're made to go with the Ready Rig and so that we can attach our Velcro strap onto this and utilize that Ready Rig that I'll show you a little bit later. So that's what these are. This breaks down into 2 halves. So if I connect those there and release these feet out by pushing the button. So once you've got your frame up, we can attach the Ronin onto here. So you've got a release right here and you can see those catches moving up and down. You'll need to press that in and then slide your Ronin in and you'll hear it lock. Once it's locked, then you can tighten this down and make sure that your Ronin is secure. Now from here, before you start balancing in anything, this is really handy opposed to the original Ronin. I've got locks. As you're noticing, this isn't moving. This is crazy handy. Most of the time I'm balancing a camera and I don't want to unbalance that. And I'm trying to figure out some way to throw it into the back of my car with a seat belt so that I don't have to rebalance it when I get to where it is that I'm going. With these, I can leave it like that and not have to worry about anything bouncing around or getting messed up. So there are 3 of them. One is on the tilt, one is on the pan, and the third is the roll, and it's different from the other 2 because instead of just a slide, it is a release and then you twist it up to latch it so that it doesn't lock back into place. Okay, now it's about mounting the camera onto the Ronin. So the dovetail on the Ronin 2 is much longer. So I've got 2 3/8 inch screws into the bottom of this guy, and then I've also attached through, Red makes it a little easy to, play with DJI, and that this plate mounts into one of the many screws, 1/4-20s, on the top of this. And this will slide up and down and will attach to the top bracket that screws into here. And I'll show you how that kind of goes into play now. So just like any standard tripod, once you've got the plate onto it, if you just slide it in, you'll hear the click, and then it's the lock on the side. I want to push that back, and now I know that that camera won't fall off of that catch. There are catches on the front and the back. You can see it catch there, but once you kind of get it into place, you can lock that down. And again, it's the one on the side. Before we attach this top bracket, I like to release this one in the back, make sure it's unlocked, and that will allow me to fine-tune adjust this side to side, as well as a little bit my front and back. And what I'm going for is to just let this sit level, just like anything else that you've ever balanced of any other brand, and just kind of get it to, I mean, you can see how fast I did that. It really makes it a lot quicker of a process when you can fine-tune adjust some of those things. And now that I've got it basically where I want, let's see, a little bit too much. Now I'm going to attach this top bracket. You have 2 quick release knobs up top. Just make sure that they're on unlock. And I can slide that on and down. And then I'm going to slide my bracket forward and make sure that this sits with that. As a tip, make sure that these are unlocked when you're screwing this down, because as you're unlocking or locking this up, or to tighten it or loosen it, if these are tight, it's going to put unnecessary pressure whether it's going down or up. So make sure that they are still unlocked when you are locking this down. And you may not want to lock this down until you've got the rest of this set. And you can tell as I put that on there, I need to adjust this back. See in there, just a little bit of adjustment there, and I've got it. So DJI has really reinvented this and made it convenient. If anybody has ever used a camera with a monitor up top, then balancing becomes a whole nother issue, because you're running a camera, or sorry, a cable from your camera up into your monitor. Now, if you were using something other than Red, because Red uses a proprietary cable to power their monitor, so I'm using a LEMO adapter A and a LEMO adapter B with that cable so I can mount my touchscreen up here, not just see what I'm doing, but also have the interface. If you didn't want to do that, you could still use like a sidekick on the side of your Red to be able to have your control of the camera and just go out SDI or HDMI to a regular monitor. DJI is actually, on the back here, I have got an HD SDI input on the back. So I can really easy go, at least in this example, in most cameras, they're all going to be that SDI output on the back. Go easy to this input, so I'm not running a cable upwards. And then here on the side, I've got my HD SDI out. So I no longer have a cable in the way. But again, for this example, I'm going to be using it because I want that touch interface with Red. Okay, so now that I've got that cable on there, I'm going to slide this a little forward because that cable is pushing on it unnecessarily. And if at one point you ping it too far, like I can't twist it anymore, well then that means you need to adjust this, that you can't do that fine tune anymore. So now that I've pushed it forward a little bit, I can now fine tune and push this back to get it where it needs to be. And it's sitting actually pretty level, so I'm going to go ahead and lock that down. And now that I've got that locked, I will lock those side modules or releases there on top, and it's actually sitting pretty good. So from there I can grab my mag and throw it onto the back, and it just clips onto here, onto the back. You've got a power button up on top, and you've got a power button up in front, just like anything else DJI. Press and hold. Okay, and before I powered it on, I wanted you to be able to see the screen in the back and show you how I am going to power this on. There are several LEMO adapters back here. This is going to be for any of your accessories, follow focuses, lighting, powering the camera, whatever else. They actually utilize Red's proprietary LEMO. It's kind of a 4-pin with 2 additional pins. It's kind of like a 6-pin LEMO. But I can go into any one of these. And just like that, I'm easily powering my camera. So I'm going to use this power button up on top. Oh, and actually before I do, as another feature, if you're having to wear, there's also 2 buttons up on top, a select right and a select left. If I push that select left or right, I can release just that battery. So they are hot swappable. I could use this one battery to continue to power on my camera, continue to power on my Ronin, swap the battery, get a fresh one in there, and then swap the other one as well. So you can just be continuously running. And as a tip, remember, if you are powering your camera with these batteries, be sure to turn off your camera first before powering off your Ronin, because it kills power to all of the above. So press and press release. Powers up real quick and easy, and I'm already ready to go. So there you go, there's the balance. You can see how much easier it was. That was actually pretty darn fast for this. And we got invited to the release of this product. And so here's a little bit of a video to see what it was like if you wanted to see some of the behind the scenes. And it's kind of cool because of all the different cameras that we were able to see that the Ronin 2 can be configured with. They've advertised the Ronin 2 with just about every camera and lens configuration possible. They start off with an ARRI, and then they go to an FS7, a C500. They've got an original Dragon, and right behind me you've got the Blackmagic camera. Over here another Red camera, all different lenses. Standard L series from Canon. They've got some Sony Cinema Primes. They've got some Red Primes. Tons of different features. I can't even remember all the ones. It's got a built-in screen onto the back. Uses the same battery as the Inspire 2. Okay, so now some basic app navigation. You'll notice all of this stuff looks pretty darn familiar too. You've got motor, smooth track, monitor, remote, and settings. We're not going to go through everything in this video, but basically you've got a wheel here that scrolls through, and we'll just go to motor and select that center button. And now it gives me the options of basic and more. You've got 2 buttons down here and 2 buttons up here, and they will respond to whatever symbols are at the bottom or at the top. So for example, this bottom right has 2 arrows pointing either way. So if I push that, it's going to go from basic to more. Okay, and every single one of these, and then this back arrow takes me back to the main menu. Every single screen that you operate on are going to operate that same way. So if I go back into motor, maybe one of the first things that I'll want to do is go to more and scroll down to balance test. This is a new feature, and you can kind of see how fluid and everything moves. It's just so much better of a system. The programming in this is just awesome, and it may give us a bad reading on some of the balance because I've got this cable that is kind of pushing on it, but as long as it's acceptable. See, so roll is good, pan is good, it's tilt, which is really what that cable is going to affect. After my balance test, you'll recognize I can go back to basic and do an auto tune just like before, and this one allows you to set a stiffness grade. For this one, we'll just do 50%. So once it says auto-tune success, I can hit my back button and it has set my pan, tilt, and roll stiffness levels. But if I wanted to, I can go up and I can select these individual ones and change what it is that I want as far as that stiffness level. And go back to that main screen. Up on the top, you'll notice it has what's new to the Ronin. It now shows you GPS and how many satellites I'm latched onto. In this case, I'm latched onto 5, and that's actually how it is able to still stabilize even up to speeds of 75 miles an hour. Because of that GPS module that is located on the right-hand side of this, it is actually calculating velocity. So as you are traveling, it's going to calculate things like wind speed and whatever else based on its velocity, so that with that drag and everything, it knows how to preemptively stable even at those higher speeds. Really kind of cool. Next to that, I've got a symbol, and in this one, you're going to see that frame, kind of that Ronin grip there on the side with the Ronin in the middle. As I change this button, it now puts it into car mode, and then it will go into airplane or aerial mode if you're going to throw this onto a drone, and then to tripod mode, and then back down to its normal operating mode. We're not going to cover those in this video. Stay tuned for that video coming up. And then on the other side, I have got a symbol that means my smooth track is on, which is very similar to this one here. And it also tells me that I have got 2 batteries plugged in, and my total battery power averaged on these is now 86%. So that's the basic navigation of that interface on the rear. Now let's cut to some shooting. Let's actually get out there and start shooting with a ready rig. Okay, let's get started. Josh? Yeah, I got this one to play with anyway. There's no way I'd be able to do this without this ready rig. It would be way too heavy, but just being able to stand like this and rest for a second just really helps. So, I'm definitely sweating. It's a lot heavier than the Ronin. Ronin 2 is going to be hugely beneficial with one of these. I've got a ready rig here, and it's really helping take off some of that weight, even just being able to stand here like this. Some things that you'll love about it are the feet, of course, and being able to rest it just about anywhere you want to, even if you're far away from your original stand that Ronin had. And right now, anyways, DJI, if you've got an original Ronin, you can trade that in to a dealer and get $1,000 off towards a brand new Ronin 2. $1,000. That's 50%, half of a brand new one if you were to buy it that way. But all in all, I mean, especially these batteries, as long as we've been operating and rolling on my Red, I've still got 60% with these 2 batteries powering the full Ronin and the camera and stuff. So that'll be beneficial to you. Thanks again for watching, and feel free to send us some questions on the comments and stuff if they're smaller, and I can try to get to those as best I can. And you can shoot me an email if you'd like at jamesb@tvspec.com. And thanks again for watching. Good luck and happy shooting. Maybe there are some videos over here to the right, maybe over here to the left side, where you might actually enjoy and get some further instruction, maybe some Mavic videos or Spark, intelligent flight modes. Hey, there's probably some on projection and comparisons and things like that. And I'm sure that subscribe button is somewhere around in here too. So click on some of those other videos, hit that subscribe button, and watch for some further updates on videos. Thanks for watching.